Welcome to Marketplace Live. Let's defy gravity.
Wow, welcome everyone. What a tremendous session. So I am pleased to take us to our next session where I get the opportunity to introduce Lance Weaver from Intel. Now Lance, who better to introduce you to Marketplace Live than you? Would you mind letting our audience know a bit more about you before we jump directly into the session?
Yeah, thanks. Sounds great, Scott. I really appreciate it. Delighted to be here. It's different kind of format, for everyone, this year, but certainly glad to have the opportunity to talk through this and meet everyone. So, I've got about 30 years of industry experience. I've been both a customer, so I was a cloud CTO at GE for a number of years, and there I did infrastructure internal to the company. So I built a Predix platform that was GE's IoT foundation, and it was really to enable all the product lines for GE, and to gain operational efficiencies, et cetera, from that. And also there I was responsible for cloud adoption. So it was really going after and moving 9,000 apps to public cloud and really thinning out the internal data centers. So did that for a while, and I've also been a product leader, and so run a variety of products as a service products, and in that time as well have done platform strategy for a number of organizations. And as you said, now I'm with Intel, where I lead cloud and data center strategy. Thanks for having me.
Excellent. You're clearly an industry veteran and with a wealth of experience and transformation projects behind you. So, but now you find yourself at Intel and you're running data center and cloud strategy. So from your vantage point, how do you see the world unfolding in the data center space?
Yeah, so it's certainly an exciting time in the data center space. Things continue to accelerate. What we can accomplish for our companies is, just the opportunities are vast. But for sure, I see digital transformation being a critical aspect. Almost every company is transforming digitally, which means in real terms they're competing. So they have to figure out how to enable their business. That was a lot of what the GE Predix platform was, right? How do you digitally enable the product lines for efficiency? And so every company has some form of that they're undertaking. And with that, there's a huge explosion of data, right? So all of the IoT devices out there, and those are growing exponentially, are generating enormous amounts of data, and with that really comes a lot of opportunity in AI, and importantly in the realistically the architecture to support that. So hybrid multi-cloud from core cloud to edge is what I've experienced and what I see customers undertaking and trying to really lever into this digital opportunity. So those are a lot of the opportunities out in the marketplace. I see those changes happening, and I said it's really about competing. So the ability for a company to compete, leveraging those technologies and win, that's how the industry is shaping. And with that, the ability to do that from cloud computing all the way to edge computing is what it takes to be able to deliver that.
All right. So, when it comes to competing, right, we all know that there's a certain need for speed, right? And in this particular case, we need to process everything. We need to store more. We need to move faster. So the hallmarks of transformation. So speaking of changing, right, notice that Intel reorganized the data center group last November into what's now called Data Platforms Group. And I think along the way, they cited the need for Intel to become more future-focused and scalable and really more customer-centric. So now that you're charged with running the data center and cloud strategy for that group, can you tell us a bit more about that mission?
Yeah, absolutely. So really this is about the significant growth opportunity, right? So the changes that are happening in the industry, that digital transformation story here, Intel is focusing specifically on, 5G network transformation. Most of us are pretty familiar with what's happening there, right? We're starting to see the capabilities come out in cell phones, to tap into that. But that's a large undertaking to for network carriers to achieve that. But ultimately opens the doors to so many things for low latency communication. Things like computer vision, being able to handle and adapt for autonomous driving. So that was one area for this change. AI. So artificial intelligence is really after the next wave of change, and realistically, there's such an opportunity for tapping into all of the data being generated. In another area, with this change for Intel was going after the intelligent edge, right? So edge computing, all the capabilities wrapped up, in being able to do this, on a customer prem, at the, edge of cloud, within a system of the 5G networks. There's an opportunity here for, levering into and bringing compute to the data. So, with that, we just see this huge proliferation and acceleration in the data center and cloud space. And so the reorganization was about bringing the teams together across Intel that really handle compute, storage, and networking to make that a more comprehensive and consistent portfolio for our customers. To be able to enable that capability, make the customer make the customer's role easier here for adoption. And with through all that, the need for providing a security platform that's pervasive. So reorganizing is allowing the company to really focus in on what our customers needs and really listen to what they need and the changes necessary. So lots of opportunity for it, but the reorganization was allowing us to really tap into this fundamental opportunity and really enable our customers.
Right. Well, and I think that it was the 2019 Intel investor meeting that Naveen Shenoy, your GM, talked about, specifically this notion of data-centric opportunity in the market and specifically industry megatrends that surround that opportunity. Could you share some color on what you see as those trends?
Yeah, absolutely. So for sure, it's the growth, right? The amount of data being generated is enormous and growing at about 20%, 26% CAGR according to IDC. And basically by 2025 there'll be 175 zettabytes of data being produced annually. So you're just talking enormous numbers. And with that though is the recognition that only 1 to 2% of that data actually gets analyzed. And so being able to learn more from that is of high value. So the growth of AI is a result of that. So the ability to really turn data into insights, which we've all wanted to do for a long time. That is now truly becoming reality, and that field is exploding. So that was one of the things that we were covering from that. The proliferation of cloud. So we see the capabilities for cloud compute and the ease of use of that. Really growing exponentially, going into new areas of the globe, right? Making the digital capabilities simpler for customers. And so that's been yet another aspect of the reach of cloud in total. And the last one is really the cloudification of the network and edge, making those things very simple, driving change within them, improving efficiencies, but ultimately making the customer experience, number one. And so, all those things brought together are, what we were looking for from an Intel standpoint, and driving forward.
Right. So to bring us back to one of the things you just mentioned, which is AI, right? So clearly the data platform group, there's a strong focus on AI, right? So where does Intel see AI making the biggest impact? Are there specific use cases or industries that illustrate the opportunity?
Yes, for sure. So the great thing about AI is that it permeates everything, right? Every industry. So there isn't really a target vertical for this. It doesn't apply to just one business out there. Every company is truly a data company in driving insight from that. And so that really becomes the next frontier of competing. And so, really trying to, lever and learn and take advantage of AI in order to drive your business forward is the next frontier. And, so some examples of that, so if we took something broad like computer vision, there are a number of use cases underneath that. So autonomous driving is an easy one, right? So the ability of, the vehicle to be fully autonomous, we're all looking forward to really seeing that in reality. Medical, image analysis. So, AI can be, an awesome, has been proven to be, extremely accurate, right? And being able to, detect, for instance, cancers in a radiological exam. In simple things that we can use every day, like Google Translate, being able to view through that and read a foreign, language sign immediately. That's, a great capability. Things like agriculture, yet another industry where John Deere has taken, computer vision and applied that in order to, increase yield harvest. So across the board, there's a number, of use cases in computer vision. And we also see another major category in language modeling. So this is typically referred to as GPT-3, but it's basically generative pre-trained transformer. And what that really means is an understanding of natural language, where questions can be posed and responses generated. What we've seen, recently is with the, third version of that, even the ability to, write a novel, to write code by AI. So, these are just great examples, and because of the pervasiveness, how widespread this is, and, there's just such an opportunity inside of, the AI space. And certainly this is, an area for, Intel and an area that we continue to innovate within.
Wow. Yeah. So just to kind of put my spin on that, there's a massive opportunity, broad industry implications for AI. But as I think about all of that opportunity, I'm also thinking about the data that is needed to fuel real AI initiatives. And so in our first data gravity index, we developed a process to measure data growth, right? And we found that it creates challenges, right? Challenges that can really only be solved with new architectural models, right? So how do you envision technology solving for this massive data problem?
Yeah, for sure. This is definitely an issue, right? Data gravity is real. The amount of data that we are talking about, that 175 zettabytes of data, those are significant. So where those centers of gravity are, or Gartner would say, centers of data, those are extremely important, and how you can get information into those, and then where they are located in proximity to compute. And so one of the things that you have to think about is how do you bring the compute to the data versus the opposite, right? Taking the data to the compute. And so being able to do that with an architecture that can make that successful is critical. You also have a scenario, we were talking about IoT earlier, where so much data is being generated at the edge. And that edge can be, a wearable. That edge can be, a warehouse, right? A manufacturing facility, or a, autonomous, autonomous trunk. There are, lots and lots of options out there, for that. But the reality is that not all of that data can also go all the way back to core cloud. It either needs to be processed, directly at the device, or at, aggregation points, around the globe. And so these are areas where you can see, companies like Digital playing a critical role, in the outcome of that, being able to make sure that there's an architecture that can be, support optionality, that can support the ability for, handling these centers of data where they need to be, so that, going all the way back, to our first conversation, that companies can compete, because that's really what that data is all intended to do, right? Is to make, insights available and help make those companies more competitive.
Right. I think I heard a Gartner stat some time ago that, by 2025, 50% of all data will be created by IoT devices and sensors and other things out in the field, right? And clearly that just places a need on architecturally addressing computational power at the edge, right, where there are centers of data rather than the inverse. So makes a lot of sense. So let me take us back a little bit real quickly to Intel, where we are, where you are today. And I saw that Intel recently acquired Habana Labs. Can you talk about how that acquisition fits into your overall strategy and what's next?
Yeah, absolutely. With Habana, for sure, this really gets to the heart of the AI conversation. What we see is, the various types of AI, things from machine learning, to deep learning. And what we see now is that deep learning growing in complexity. So those models, are literally requiring 2 times the compute power, every 3.5 months. And so the reality of that, is explosive, need for compute. And as AI becomes ever more complex, right? The reality here is a need for a combination of CPU and accelerator. And so really that's the capability with Habana. And so that was our desire from an Intel standpoint, for acquisition. And we look forward to being able to bring more of that capability to market. So really, at the end of the day, like next steps are always about innovation. But with Intel, our purpose is to create world-changing technology that enriches the lives of every person on Earth. So what we do next, will directly align with that, and ultimately for the benefit of our customers.
Wow. Aspirational goals to be sure. So I know our time is running a bit short, but I think I just had one more question that I'd like to kind of get your perspective on. And, coming from your, role as both data center and cloud strategist, what's your view of the multi-tenant data center and their roles in future state architectures? Can you share some of your thoughts on that?
Yeah, for sure. So hybrid multi-cloud is the reality, and so as customers are thinking about how to implement that, from core cloud to edge, the multi-tenant data center is a critical aspect of that. So the ability to place data at those centers of gravity, right, to be able to lever all of the resources available across all of the numerous cloud providers, the SaaS providers, to be able to aggregate data from edge locations. Like, this is definitely a critical aspect of the industry architecture, and certainly, multi-tenant data centers play an absolutely critical role in bringing all of that together. So I kind of think about it as the glue of that industry architecture.
Yeah, I think Customers look to providers like Digital Realty for a secure platform to host those, that edge and core. So certainly understood. Well, thank you for indulging that last question. And Lance, sincerely, incredibly insightful as always. I'd like to thank you for sharing your perspectives with the audience here today. And again, thank you very much. And with that, it's my pleasure to say thank you to all of our attendees here at Marketplace Live. This is a wrap of our event. All the content is available online, so if you missed a session today, you can see it tomorrow. And just want to say sincerely to all the participants, thank you for being with us today. Good day.